There we go. Load it in. Oh, I have it playing back there. So, for people tuning in, and this is the first episode of the series, we're playing Pathfinder Kingmaker. We restarted because the game updated into its enhanced edition. So we're playing through it because we're restarting because of that, and we're basically back where we were. We have to take Amelia with us because, well, to do the Tusk Gutter quest that we're going to do before we go to the Old Sycamore Tree, we need her in our party, unfortunately. The reason that's unfortunate, it's not because she's a bad character or anything. It's mostly because we're like kind of evil. Also, having fun of making her a kinetic knight, or whatever the archetype is actually called. I'm not going to weapon focus her just because I don't care. Let's give her just power attack. I could get a familiar. How does that work? Okay, just whatever. And they give me buffs. Or I can get Trip. Trip sounds pretty good. Let's get that. I didn't like strip her of her gear, did I? No, she has gear. Yeah, I gave her a shield and a sword. Yeah, okay. So let's just go find Tuskcutter and let's go over. I think he's over here, right? Yeah, that's him. Yeah. So unfortunately, you need to have Miri in your party, and generally you would, because she's one of the better melee combatants. But you know, we're going with a full. We're trying to go with an evil part, with more of an evil party, because our character's evil, and I've never played this game with evil characters in my party. So I think going evil could be an interesting route to go with it, instead of always going goody two shoes. Oh no, we've been attacked by a random fucking dog in the woods. Oh, it's dead. Oh, there was a second one. It is also dead. I feel this game, if there's one complaint I could have about it, is its random encounters could use some work when it comes to making them actually more interesting. I find either they throw something that's really weenie at you, or they sometimes throw something that's like really scary and like murders you. There's no middle ground of like a somewhat challenging encounter, usually. Which is why I always try to avoid them, because they're just more of a waste of my time. Because it's not like I'll lose or anything. We've gone to the ancient tomb, right? Yeah, we've been to the thorn ford. Yeah. Yeah, just making sure I didn't forget something from last time, because I was like fairly certain we're basically on the cusp of, doing that. Oh. Yeah, she's not doing anything right now. Let's replace you with you. Yo, my dog. What's up? And I'll put you over there.
Lindsay, do you have a spare shirt? Mine is just holes after yesterday's brawl.
Of course I do, but I think it'll be too short for you. It would be funny to see, but it wouldn't be comfortable for you.
Sure, what's your question, Scorch? I'm here to answer questions about the game. And of course, she insists to go in by herself.
Running won't help you.
Yeah. Okay. So something you can do, Scorch. Yeah. Okay. So here's what you can do. In fact, I'll show you right now in this fight. So we have our party right here. I can turn their AI off or on if I wanted to make sure they do exactly what I say. And on the difficulty I'm playing on, yes, I need to. If I want to not die in hard fights, I would need to micromanage them. But if you want to just breeze through the combat and just enjoy the story and not deal with it, here I'll show you in the menu. You can effectively change the difficulty at any time. And oh, sorry, that's not difficult. That's game. You can effectively change the difficulty at any time, and you can make it so that the combat is so easy that you don't need to worry about micromanaging. I believe you can also edit the AI kind of like in Dragon Age. I've never done that because I prefer to min max my characters and do them manually. But you can turn things on like auto level up and stuff, so that you don't even need to level these guys up. They just do it yourselves, and all you focus on is your pro tag. Uh, Beyond that, difficulty is very changeable. Yeah, I'm not too. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna find out. I think I've seen it before. So like on this character, for example, let's see, abilities, martial class, biography. I'm seeing there's an option for their AI, but I don't think there is to like give them a script or something. No, 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 I don't see it. But these characters who can go on autopilot here. I'll show you. So if I do nothing, even my pro tag will start heading in to fight the creature, and they'll even cast some of their basic abilities. The only thing you might need to micromanage is their actual abilities, from what I can tell. I'm not sure if there's a way you can automate them to do their like spells and stuff, but I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if there's a way to fully automate them, is what I was saying. Like, as you can see, I'm not doing anything right now, and they're doing their most basic stuff right now of attacking, casting a few cantrips here and there. Nothing crazy. I'm not sure if you can, like, if you've ever played Baldur's Gate, you can give your characters scripts, or in Neverwinter Nights, those scripts can be really in depth, where you can basically just sit back, watch the show, and they'll do all the fighting for you. But in this game, although I don't think it gives you that level of customization, or if it does, I don't know about it because, like I said, I like to micromanage my characters and fight optimally. But if you stick the game on like super easy mode, I'm pretty sure you could probably beat most things without doing too much micromanaging. Yeah. Though if you're looking for an RPG similar to this that lets you really like manage your characters to have a script, and then they will enact that script, kind of like in Dragon Age, I'd recommend checking out Neverwinter Nights 2 for that. Yeah, in this game, if you're going to do that, what you could do as well is there are a lot of characters you get. Just make sure you pick characters who don't have a lot of class mechanics. Like, a good example is Amiri, actually. She's normally just a barbarian. Just make her a barbarian. What class am I playing? I am playing a right now I'm going to my things so you can see it all. So I am a ecclesiarch cleric, and I am also a imperial sorcerer, which I wouldn't recommend that combo if you want to be evil like I am. But I'm playing that. The goal is to get to Mystic Theurge. That's why I picked those classes. And I'm just gonna have a shit ton of I'm gonna just have a fuck ton of spells. That's the goal. To just have as many spells as possible. But if you were to mimic this and want to be evil, I wouldn't go with the Imperial Sage because, well, your Heavenly Fire ability doesn't work on evil people. It only heals good people or kill evil people. It does nothing to neutral characters. So as you can imagine, it's not that amazing. But other than that, that's what I'm going with, because I wanted something that was a bit more jank to play with. I've been playing the game a fair bit with a more normal character, I'll say, on the side, and yeah. So, the issue with raising the dead in Pathfinder, if you want to be a necromancer, is you're better off being a cleric, actually, than a wizard, an arcane caster. Clerics actually get. I think wizards get raised dead as well, like arcane spellcasters. I'm not sure completely if maguses get them. If you wanted to be a magus and do it, I know there is like I think it's called an Eldritch, the Eldritch Scion archetype. I can't remember all the sorcerer archetypes, not archetypes, bloodlines right now, but there might be an undead one. But at the same time, there might not be. Yeah, like what Ogron just said, you don't even need a full party in this game. This game is made in what's known as the Infinity Engine, so the game is theoretically beatable with a party of just your protag if you're hard enough. But I wouldn't recommend your first playthrough being a solo character playthrough, and in general, I wouldn't recommend playing that way because unless you're playing a very enjoyable character to play, it would be it'd be both very difficult about knowing all the encounters and also very slow, lots of killing. Yeah. I feel like this game you could easily go with a party of 4 and do pretty well, to be honest. I'd probably reduce the damage of enemies in the difficulty setting, but other than that, you wouldn't feel too hard pressed to beat the game. Because even with my first like testing and playing of the game, I found that if you don't want to worry too much, you can basically play on normal mode and just reduce the damage a bit, and you'll find that there are still difficult fights in the game, but there's less bullshit encounters you had to really min-max your way through. So I'm only coming here because I don't want to marry, and I want the most evil scumbags in the world to follow me around. And yeah. But when it comes to this game, I'd recommend it. It's pretty good. If I had to rate it on like a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 7.5. I'd say it is not as good as something like Baldur's Gate was, but I think it's as good as like Neverwinter Nights is. Not as iconic though. And it's better than a more recent example would be Pillars of Eternity, which I personally didn't like very much. This game's pretty good. It has a lot of replayability to it because there are just so many cool classes to play as. I find the issue with a lot of these games where they take the rule set of a RPG and then they just turn that into a video game. They Unfortunately, there are some classes in tabletop that are cool that don't translate well into being cool in a video game. Yeah, I got about halfway through. I'm not even sure if it's even halfway through. I got to the major big city in Pillars of Eternity when I played it by myself. And as I was going through it, I discovered a really powerful cheese strategy by accident. If you're familiar with Pillars of Eternity, if you play a ranger, you can get a bear companion, or really any companion. It doesn't matter what it is, really. But you can get a bear, and the bear is really good because he's fat and big, not because he does a lot of damage. I wouldn't normally pick the ranger class because I think it's terrible in that game.
Lindsay, what
Because
is
your animal companion just kind of sucks. But when characters die in Pillars of Eternity, their model, their body, still prevents enemy movements.
Serves you
So what you can do is you can jam uh, people into tight corridors, and then when anything's stuck behind the body of a dead bear, then you just cast all your fireballs and area effect spells, and you just kind of win.
I need to catch my breath.
Which is what killed that game for me, is that there were too many like really powerful strategies that just kind of ruined the fun of the game for me. because I like playing things legit. I don't like cheesing my way through them usually.
Maybe you should grow it back? You know, for a change.
Also, I find with Pillars of Return, none of the classes are very like unique or interesting. They're only like unique, like not in other fans things. Like the what's it called again? They do stuff with the soul. The class is called one thing, but in the lore they're called like I think they're called like animancers or something. Yeah, animancers in the lore is what they're called. But the class you play as to be as one is different. And I found that class to be boring because it's like, all right, you cast one spell per fight, and that's all you do, or two or three maybe. Yeah, Divinity Original Sin, I think, is honestly my favorite role playing game that's come out in recent history. I did a little bit of the stream of the original one while I was waiting for the enhanced edition of this thing to come out and finally be playable. And like I said, I like to fucking just manage my people into the dirt like they're slaves.
Greetings.
So I'll mention this encounter right here.
I have urgent news. Lady Jamande ordered me to capture Tartus.
So you see this text in here, Pine Patch has been revealed.
That damned mist.
That tells me right away that I need to do one more thing before I can go into this first dungeon. I'm not reading the text, by the way, because it hurts my voice. My throat's been kind of bugging me lately. RTS? It depends on the game. How would I describe my relationship with RTS? So, I love playing the campaigns of real-time strategy games. Like, I loved Warcraft 3. I loved Dawn of War 1 and 2. I didn't play 3, though. I heard it wasn't very good. And I love the campaigns and the stories and stuff. And I like that aspect of RTSs where you can be real casual. You can make your, like, city, or not your city, your base really nice looking. And you don't have to worry about it. When it comes to online RTS, the only one I ever enjoyed was StarCraft 2, actually. In Wings Liberty, because in that game, there were some very, like, potent strategies that you could do that weren't super difficult and do pretty well, even the low ranks. And my achievement of my claim to fame in StarCraft 2 Wings Liberty is being called a Korean by someone I beat in Bronze League. I tried Total War Warhammer actually not too long ago, and I couldn't get into that game because of one issue I had of it, and that was that if you have an army and I have an army and our army is of equal size, then in theory we'll have to have the tactical battle, right? I'll have to put my units somewhere, we'll have an advantage. But I found that in the campaigns of that game, the scenarios you did, that was very rarely the case. Either the guy outnumbered you by a lot, or you outnumbered them by a lot. And I picked a Dark Elf faction in Total War Warhammer 2 because I like elves. I don't want to be a disgusting squid creature or lizard creature or something. It's like, yeah, I'll be the Dark Elves. I know their lore a bit. They're like kind of edgy, but whatever. I'll deal with it. I'll look past the edge. And I was having a good time, and I was capturing some cities. But then I got this realization after I'd captured some cities that the only reason I was winning all these fights is because I outnumbered all of them by a lot. And the only fights I ever lost was when I sent out like a detachment of people to somewhere else just to like exist there basically. And there might be a rebellion that happens, and in that rebellion, that smaller secondary stack of units just kind of died because I didn't get them out of there in time. They just died. So I found that in the campaign, maybe on hard difficulties, it's different. I played normal mode obviously because it was the first time playing it. That as long as you outnumber the enemy, you'll win. I had one fight in particular where I really messed up. I accidentally ordered my archers to move ahead of my like line of like lancers. Dudes with spears, I mean not lancers. And they got engaged on by the enemy. Like they actually got to them. And I, quickly tried to reposition them behind the spearmen, and I still won that fight, even though they probably killed half my archers because I outnumbered them still. I'm gonna talk to these guys a bit. If you want a game like that, Corvaxis, you might want to check out a game called Majesty and Majesty 2. It's a city builder game, but you don't get to control any of your units. You just choose what gets built in the city. And you instead entice people to go to places by putting out bounties, like to explore the region or to attack the den of monsters. And it's a pretty good representation of a role-playing game where all the wizards will die a horrible death, except for that one lucky bastard who got real lucky and became the Archmage. You know, what's my companions got to say? You know what? Usually I just kill all of them. A Majesty, it's made by, I think it's technically, the company that made Majesty, I think is technically a part of Paradox now. I don't know the full details, but it's just called Majesty, so like that. And if you're familiar with the 4X game, Warlock, where you play Civ, but switch as you're a wizard, I'd recommend checking it out because you just build stuff and you don't control your units. You just tell them, hey, it's 100 gold bounty on these fucking rats in the city. So what you can do there is you can choose a side in this little skirmish here. And in doing so, if you choose a side, you only have to kill half as many things. Or you can choose to kill all of them. And if you want the optimal way of doing this, you would want to side with the mites every time. Because the mites are a lot more dangerous than the kobolds. And the kobolds are really weak. The reason the mites are at all dangerous is because they have mite priests who have like 3 hold person spells each. And they just spam, channel negative energy all day and harm you. Which, as you could imagine, is not very good for you. But yeah, Majesty, it's a pretty good game.
Face me if you dare.
Bleed for me.
Oh, how edgy this guy is. He's like, bleed for me.
Attack.
Strike worth a legend.
Oh no, you're just being slow. Wait, actually, there's shit back here. We should explore all the shit and stuff, and not just run around. Well, I guess that's what we're doing, is we're running around.
Solid plan.
Oh, that's a lot of... Oh, no, use my... I always forget that Ryongar actually has really low AC. And I might want to consider casting, like, Shield of Faith on him or something. So he doesn't just get murked. He's also, like, in the wrong position for the formation. No, I don't have... No, I have Shield of... I don't have Shield of Faith? No, he has Shield himself, that's right. How long does it even last? A minute per level? I'm not sure how the clock works in this game. I think it must go by real time. No. You see, Mage Armor... Here, I'll show you why. So Mage Armor provides a +4 armor bonus to AC. The spell he starts off with, obviously. And the issue with Mage Armor is that he's also wearing a chain shirt. A +1 chain shirt. So I'll show this to you, this interaction. In Pathfinder, armor bonuses can't stack. So right now I have a +4 armor bonus, +1 enhancement to AC. So if I'm Ryongar and I cast Mage Armor myself, which I'll do just as a show, he currently had 19 AC. He still has 19 because the Mage Armor did nothing to help him. Because it gives him a +4 armor bonus. And armor bonuses can't stack. But if we cast the shield spell on ourselves, it gives a +4 shield bonus to AC. As you can see, Rongar doesn't have a shield or any other item that would give him a shield bonus to AC. So if we cast shield on him, he'll go from 19 to 23. And now he has 23 AC. Oh, it's her who has Shield of Faith. Yes. That's a common mistake because in Pathfinder, there's bonuses of the same type generally don't stack. There are some exceptions, but yeah, unfortunately, if you're a Magus and you're wearing armor, you're going to need the shield spell and not the armor spell. The shield spell grants the same amount of AC bonus in combat. The only downside is that it doesn't last as long. But there are some bonuses that you can stack to get lots of AC. So another example is Shield of Faith, which gives a deflection bonus. So that would stack with the armor bonus and the shield bonus that he has right now.
I've broken a nail. Done and done. Oh, look.
Yes. Natural armor and mage armor do stack in Pathfinder.
I'll go ahead.
And as well as wearing like a necklace of natural armor would stack with like wearing full plate. It is kind of weird though that wearing full plate and having natural armor would stack, seeing as the full plate would be covering your natural armor. But Pathfinder has never been logical of a game. Yeah, it looks like it does track in real time. That's useful to know.
Let's head out.
So yeah, since I have the mites are my bros. They don't have anything to do with me. Is this like a thing I look at? Okay, whatever.
Forward, submit.
So this dungeon is like super easy, by the way. It's very like it lulls you into a false sense of security that the game itself is very easy actually. Which is why I don't like it, because you're fighting all these giant centipedes, and like everyone in your party basically will one-shot kill a giant centipede because of how weak and pathetic they are. And then they throw some shenanigans at you to get you off to surprise you after you've thought that you're safe and sound. Oh well, she doesn't count. Elves aren't people. See, she has at least 1 hit points. That's all I care about. I'm not even gonna bother healing her. I might heal her later,